What's going on, guys? Lionheart here. Today we're going to talk about some examples of the Mandela Effect. The term came out around 2010 is when it first started being used a lot. So basically, in the 1980s, many people remember Nelson Mandela dying. They remember the riots on the news. They remember seeing like the funeral on the news and whatnot. But Nelson Mandela didn't die until 2013. There's a lot of examples of this, so I'm going to show you guys some of those. One of the most popular ones being the Bernstein Bears or the Bernstein Bears, but I'm going to show you some other examples. So we're going to start with the Ford logo. Which logo do you guys think is correct? What if I told you the top one is correct and the bottom one never existed? This one really throws me off because I remember the bottom one, and it even looks correct to me. The top one doesn't look correct to me at all, and I don't remember that squiggly line ever being on the F. The logo's never changed. You can go back to cars made in like the Ford cars made in like the 1980s and stuff. The squiggly line will be there, but it doesn't look right. It's not correct. Something is going on, and it's crazy. We need answers to this, so I'm going to show you another example here. What about the Chick-fil-A logo? How do you guys remember it? What if I told you the bottom one is correct and the top one never existed? Yeah, it threw me off too. The top one is what I remember. The bottom one doesn't look right to me, and I don't think it ever existed. We got the Staples logo. Which one's correct? The bottom one is correct, the top one is wrong. It has never existed. Does anybody else remember a bite mark out of the S on Jaws? Because I remember it and a lot of people remember it too. I don't really remember this one, but both of them do look correct to me. So which one's correct? P-E-N-N-E-Y or P-E-N-N-Y? The top one is correct and the bottom one is wrong. What about Sex in the City or Sex and the City? Which one do you guys remember? I've never watched this show, but I do remember seeing like commercials and stuff for it, and I'm pretty sure it was always Sex in the City, but it's never been Sex in the City. It's always been Sex and the City. Okay, so if you're confused like about how this whole Mandela Effect thing started, well, a lot of people think it started with this company called CERN. Basically, they're a research center, I think in Switzerland or something. And they're smashing particles together at just under the speed of light. And that sounds dangerous already, because when you mess with particles and stuff, you can make nuclear bombs. And anyways, if you want to research this Mandela Effect thing and you want to know how it all started, research into CERN. You can learn a lot of stuff. Looney Tunes. Which one's correct? Isn't the top one correct? What if I told you the top one is wrong and it has never existed in this earth? Well, yeah, it throws a lot of people off. It has never been Looney Tunes spelled T-U-N-E-S. It has always been Tunes, T-O-O-N-S. I asked my dad. I posted a poll on Facebook and almost 70% of people agreed that it was Looney Tunes, T-O-O-N-S. And you see, you gotta also think about that 30% of people that chose T-U-N-E-S. Maybe they've recently watched it, so they remember it spelling T-U-N-E-S because, they just recently watched it after it changed. This is one of the Mandela Effect examples that I remember both of them, but which one do you guys think is correct? The one on the right is correct, and the one on the left is wrong. But like I said, I remember both of these, maybe because I have seen Volvo cars recently. But doesn't the one on the left look correct? It doesn't look wrong. Popular cereal brand Fruit Loops. How is it spelled? Well, it's spelled F-R-O-O-T, Loops. Maybe we remember it being spelled Fruit Loops, F-R-U-I-T, just because that's how you spell fruit. Maybe we've never looked at the box to see F-R-O-O-T. But I don't know. This one throws me off. So the one on the right is correct, and the one on the left is wrong. What about C-3PO? Do you guys remember him having a silver leg? I don't remember it. Now this one can be explained a little bit. Back when Star Wars was on VHS tapes and stuff, it's really hard to see what color his leg is. They kind of look the same color, and you can't really make it out. So that could be explained for all of this. But in the newer Star Wars films, you can see that he does have a silver leg, but I don't remember it. Beats by Dre or Beats by Dr. Dre? I remember it being Beats by Dre, but it is Beats by Dr. Dre. And that's not correct. It has always been Beats by Dre, because like we always knew that it was like by Dr. Dre, but I remember them leaving the doctor part out. It was always Beats by Dre, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it's just Dr. Dre." Well, no one actually said that. Everybody just knew, but it was always Beats by Dre. Where did Beats by Dr. Dre come from? What about Cheez-Its? How do you remember them? Well, it's Cheez-It. Maybe we just always have said Cheez-Its because it sounds better. Because to me, Cheez-Its with a Z on the end doesn't look correct. The Cheez-It box does look correct the way it is. And maybe we've just always said Cheez-Its because, like, it's more than one. Cheez-It, so we say Cheez-Its. Okay, so I want to start going through these pretty fast. How do you remember Pikachu? Did he ever have a black stripe on his tail? To me, it looks correct. But Pikachu has never had a black stripe on his tail, and he has always just had a yellow tail. Okay, so the Febreeze bottle. Did it ever have two E's? B-R-E-E-Z-E? Or is it just B-R-E-Z-E? Well, 80% of people from my Facebook poll remember it being Febreeze, B-R-E-E-Z-E. But it's never been Febreeze. It's always been Febreze. Doesn't look right at all. And it has never been right. It's not like that. It's always been Febreeze. This is another great example of the Mandela Effect. Do you remember there being a Coke Zero? Or has it always been Coca-Cola Zero? I remember that can of Coke Zero that has always existed. But if you search it up, you can't find a thing about it. And it has always been Coca-Cola Zero. Skechers. Do you remember it being with a T or without a T? I remember a T in Skechers, but Skechers has never had a T in it. Captain Crunch, wasn't it always Captain Crunch? But nope, it's always been Cap in Crunch. It's quite confusing. What about the Monopoly Man? Do you guys remember him having a monocle, or did he never have a monocle? So a lot of people remember him wearing a monocle, but he's never had a monocle. This one can be explained a little bit. Most of the times in movies when people wear top hats and a suit and have a cane, usually they have a monocle on. Also, Mr. Peanut has a monocle, and he looks a lot like Mr. Pennybags. This is another big example of the Mandela Effect. This one gets a lot of people. Was there ever a dash between Kit and Kat? I'm not too sure. I don't really remember it. Go ahead and leave in the comments below. Do you guys remember all these Mandela Effect examples that we've explained so far? Let me know. So, how many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated? I remember 4 people being in the car, but there's always been 6 people in the car. That's strange. I've watched a lot of conspiracy theories about the JFK assassination video, and I don't recall 6 people ever being in the car. I know what you're thinking. I've already showed the Febreze one, but I actually have a little story to tell. So, halfway through editing this video, I got a text from my girlfriend while she was on her way to work that a commercial from Febreze came on the radio, and she has like one of them radios that will like show you the name of the song. Well, the Febreze commercial was on, and she said it was spelt Febreze, B-R-E-E-Z, She tried to take a picture of it, but she couldn't get her phone out fast enough, and I wish she could have got a picture of that. It's probably a simple spelling error from the radio company. They probably remember it being Breez too, but isn't that funny? I find that very funny. Okay, so this is the last example I have for you guys in this video. Doughboy Pillsbury guy. What color of scarf did he have? Well, he's always had a white scarf and he's never had a blue scarf. As you can see there in the top image, that's from The Simpsons. He had a blue scarf when he appeared in The Simpsons. And that's strange because The Simpsons have always been known for like predicting future events, and The Simpsons really aren't ever wrong. If you are into like any conspiracy theories, it seems like you always find something that relates to The Simpsons, and that's pretty strange. I think I might go binge watch The Simpsons now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. I plan on making more Mandela Effect example videos in the future, but I did cover most of the good ones today. But you guys can go ahead and check out my channel. I do a lot of videos, from review videos to camping alone in the woods by myself. So if you enjoy that type of content, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching. Peace.